Many people's dream is to get to a certain age and retire. In America, there is no age that forces you to retire, or you don't have to wait until a certain age to retire. You can technically retire whenever you want. You can retire at the age of 19, but you'll be living life like a senior. We call them senior citizens. It depends how you want to define that word, but usually it references someone in their 60s or up, and they're living a certain lifestyle, because a retired way of living is a different way than most of society. Most of society is working, or they're young and in school, and then there's a certain percentage that are seniors, and they're living this retired life where they have to figure out or prepare on how they can best live it. The first thing that comes up when you prepare for retirement, when you either reach a certain age or if you decide you're going to retire early, because again, there is no age requirement for retirement. You should take that as a great statement. In America, and I think any country really, just about, you can retire at any age. The key is being prepared enough to do it. Many athletes struggle with that. That most athletes, their careers are done in their 30s, so they retire from maybe professional sports, but they take time off or they reinvent themselves and have to figure out what they're going to do with the rest of their life. So the first step to preparing for retirement is to figure out how are you going to live on your fixed income. That's the biggest key phrase when it comes to talking to seniors, that they're on a fixed income. What does that mean? Well, it usually means that they solely depend on their Social Security, and it's set at a certain amount every month. Like in the United States of America, the average Social Security per month is $1,500 a month. There's people that make less than that, and there's people that make more than that. Your Social Security in America, there's a formula. If you go on socialsecurity.org or whatever, they'll show you. It's based on how much money over your career you have made. It takes a certain amount of like your highest earning years, and it does some type of formula. And pretty much the more you work, the more you've made, the higher you're going to get in Social Security. The less you've worked, the less you've made, the less payout you get. The average is $1,500, and you can start collecting that in America at the age of 62. At the age of 66, you can get what they call full retirement age, which means you'll get your not the maximum, but you get a full payout. And if you wait to the age of 70, that's the longest you can wait for Social Security, is that you'll get an absolute max that you could potentially get from Social Security. So the bottom line is, whether you're going to depend on Social Security, depend on investments, depend on any other source of money that you can count on, that's it. It's fixed. It's not like you're going to work overtime. It's not like you're going to have a situation where you get a bonus, right? So when they say a fixed income, they mean like they're not going to get a bonus. They're not going to do overtime. They're not going to get a tip if they're a waiter. They have a fixed thing. That's what that means. Now, what you have to prepare for is that, again, there's no age that you have to retire or that you have to wait to retire. Now, if you retire at the age of 62, that's the minimum age you can collect Social Security. You can only work a certain amount before they'll start to deduct that off your Social Security payout. Once you reach age 66, which is full retirement age, you can work unlimited amount and make unlimited amount, and it won't affect your Social Security benefits. So when you hear seniors or retirees use the word fixed income, It doesn't have to be fixed. I want to say that again. Your income does not have to be fixed. You can still pick up side hustles if you're 62, 66, or 76. Doesn't mean you should necessarily work like a madman or a madwoman, but you may want to at least know that's an option. So that every time you hear the word fixed income, you're saying that you voluntarily are not going to do anything extra if you needed to make more than your fixed income. Now, again, maybe you're disabled, maybe you're very elderly. There's many variables. But as you prepare for retirement, as you prepare to live like a senior, you have to realize age matters. Average life expectancy is 80, but there are no strict requirements with regards to when you can retire. There's that one requirement that if you take Social Security very early at the age of 62, you can only work so much without affecting your benefits. But outside of that, it comes down to the discipline, the preparation, and the knowledge of money operating on a basic income or a basic budget, I should say, because your income could be $3,000 a month. It could be $6,000. It could be $1,000. It could be $500. Someone left me a comment the other day. I don't know what age they were. They said they're trying to figure out how to survive on $500 a month. They asked me, what should I do? I didn't really answer the question because I don't know if they were serious or what, but they should apply for subsidized housing, government aid, food stamps, etc. Because I don't know why your income would be fixed at $500 a month unless you were disabled or you have a major issue that you couldn't work. And if you do, then you have to get into the system and find other programs that will help subsidize that very low income. Because the poverty line in America is $1,000 a month. And I think poverty is, you make anything less than $1,500 a month. I really do. I think you need to make at least $2,000 a month. That's $15 an hour. But if you're retired, you're not looking at how much per hour. You just say, look, this is all I have per month. Bottom line, I got 500. I got 5,500. My man Coconuts, he comes in here and goes, can you live on $3,000 a month take home? I said, yes. But the other thing you have to prepare for as a senior is your medical insurance. Now, for my viewers in Australia and Canada and every other first world country, you don't worry about that because you have universal health care. Americans have to worry about that. Why? Because you don't get Medicare, which is senior government health care, until your age of 66, full retirement. Okay. And even then, you still would have to pay a supplemental for 20% for some items, depending on how your health, if you get prescription pills or whatever. So now, if you're very poor, if you're making $500 a month, you're not worrying about health care because you're on Medicaid. Medicare is for seniors who have reached the age of 66 and they have government health care now for the rest of their life, like 80%. 20% they may still have to pay a deductible. For people in poverty, they have government health care too. They have universal health care. It's called Medicaid. Okay. It's based on your income and your, maybe again, you have a disability, etc. So for a healthy person trying to prepare for retirement and thinking they're going to live like a senior, well, if you're not 66, if you're not the age of 66 in America, and if you plan on retiring, then you have to figure out budgeting within your income, whether it's fixed or variable, how much healthcare is going to cost you until the age of 66. And I did some rough numbers, and you're probably going to pay, it depends on your income, but if you make the average income in America, it's around $60,000 per year. Even if you made above 30, you don't have much subsidies. You're probably going to pay around, very bare minimum, $350 a month to $550 a month for a single person. Probably right around $400 or $500 a month for a single person. Okay. And again, it could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more. It all depends on your individual health, your underlying conditions, right? There's variables. But those are those are without subsidies too. Like, again, if you're making $15,000 a year because you have an issue, you're going to get a government subsidy probably, so these are variables. But that's what you have to prepare for. Because if you have a fixed income of $2,000 a month, which ain't bad. I think you want to be at $3,000 a month. I think then you can figure it out. Okay. $2,000 a month without subsidies is tough. Now, if you make $1,000 a month or less and you have subsidies, it's almost like you're making $2,500 a month. Because if you say, well, inspirational nomad, I only make $700 a month on my Social Security. But if you have subsidized housing, if you have maybe some food stamps, in reality, being that the average rent is $1,200 a month, being that food, you got to budget anywhere between $200 to $800 a month minimum. You're probably, net taking home around $2,000 to $2,500 a month when you consider that you're getting rent at a cheaper price. Maybe you're getting some assistance with food. So a fixed income is not, I make $500 a month, this is my Social Security. It's, well, all right, what other benefits are you getting and how does that equate to monetary value? So, most people, if they're making less than $1,000, are getting some type of subsidy. So they're probably around $2,000 a month they're making on their income. So, but either way, it's like, don't worry about other people's money, okay? But these are things you have to prepare and know within your country, within your even state, because in America, it's a collection of 50 states united under the federal government, United States, and each state does have their own individual, payouts or, well, I don't say payouts, but they have their own government assistance, and there's different variables, okay? We're talking about navigating the system. Now, if you're financially independent, you made money on stocks, you had a business, and so you could retire earlier than an average senior at 62 or 66. There's no shame in that because, again, I want to emphasize, this encourages me when I say it, that there's no age requirement for retirement. So if you want to retire at the age of 40, you can do it. But you got to be damn prepared, okay? You got your money right. You got to know about health care, okay? And you got to figure out if you're going to live to 80, 90, or 100, how does that look? Because preparing for retirement is not just saying, okay, I'm inspirational nomad. I'm 40 years old. I got a certain fixed income. I got side revenue. I'm healthy. I'm moving around. That's part of my side revenue, making travel videos. I'm 65. I'm 75. I'm not traveling around. I'm not as vibrant. I can't DoorDash anymore. Maybe not. Maybe that's not even around then. Things will change in 10, 20, 30 years. So if you decide to retire and live like a senior before you're a senior, you are taking a higher risk. Because I always tell you, once you get out of the workforce, it's hard to get back in. Once you wait to your, like I said, one thing I learned in my 20s, I worked as a union electrician, and it was a cycle of you'd work a certain time and then sometimes you get laid off, you'd be on unemployment for about, 4 to 6 months. And I used to like it because I was young, I had no major responsibilities. But what I learned is I got into a vicious cycle of I would make money, then I would go on unemployment, I would spend it, and then I would go right back. I wouldn't gain any traction. You gain financial traction through consistency. You gain anything through consistency. That's how you get ahead. See, sometimes seniors struggle because they don't have the ability to get ahead because there is no next level of their career. There is no, I'm going to work hard, get a promotion, I'm going to work steady. It's done, okay? For whatever reason, whether voluntary or involuntary, it's done. So, while you can make hay, while you can secure the bag, because there will be a day when you're truly living like a senior and the phrase secure the bag means secure the pee bag in your pants, okay? And that's a whole different way of living, okay? And that's what I want to talk about too. When you prepare for retirement, prepare for your physical body to be different. A cane may be a valuable resource, a wheelchair valuable resource. You may need a van, not because you want to live out of it, but because you need a ramp to get into your vehicle. I had a woman, and this is why I tell you, you got to be very careful you claim disability. Everyone has to do what they want to do, but I had a woman who lived in my community. She had no feelings in her legs. She was probably around 35, 40, and she couldn't walk. She was in a wheelchair. I did some work at her house. I became to know her. She worked for the government, though. She worked as, some type of thing, but she had a minivan with a ramp, and she had a motorized wheelchair. And once in a while, she needed help. She would call my cell phone. I would go over there. After a certain time, I did get tired of it. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, come on. I mean, I'm not the Federal Reserve, but I did it. I did as much as I could. But what I want to share with you is she worked. I tell you right now, I'll be honest with you. If God forbid that was me, I don't know if I would work. Okay. And I wouldn't blame her for not working. But like I say, how she prepares for retirement is going to include, I need something on a single story because of a physical limitation. Seniors downsize and they want one story, limited steps. Hal, great to see you, brother. Was good, Sam. I feel good today. I'm thankful that I showed up. Every day before I go to work, I'm scared. Every day before I do a video, I'm scared. You never lose that feeling of being scared, but you never lose the feeling of getting something accomplished and feeling better when you show up, because it's scarier in your mind than reality. It's scarier to prepare for a conference call than the reality. It always feels better after you show up. It feels better. It's scarier thinking that, oh my God, I'm going to go to the gym. I don't feel like going. But after you go, you feel better. And so how do I feel today? I feel good that I went to the gym. I feel good that I went to work. I feel good that I showed up on YouTube again. And I feel thankful to have you here tonight. He goes, the snow is coming down. Well, I am so thankful I don't live in New Jersey or anywhere up north. Because for me, preparing for retirement means that I live in Florida. And if I want to travel out, it'll be in the summer or hurricane season. And so at the age of whatever, I sold my house, I don't know, what was I, 36, 37? I tell you right now, especially that many people can work remotely, that's the one blessing, in my opinion, that came out of the coronavirus. That people learn, many people can work remotely. Not all, but many people can. So use this as an opportunity, and many people are, that's why housing prices are up. Use this as an opportunity, as young as you can, to live in an environment you want, and an environment, two parts of an environment, climate and culture. You say inspirational nomad, yeah, I hear you. That's why I want to move to Florida. I found a $20,000 house in Ocala, Florida. And I said, well, that's not good. You say, why? You say you love Florida. Yeah, I love Florida, Southeast Florida. Ocala, Florida is like Northwest Florida. It's totally different. So it's got a similar climate, but the culture is different. So it's not a beach culture. It's not a diverse culture per se. It's country culture. Nothing wrong with that. Some people may like that, but you have to know, as you prepare for retirement, as you get older, you need all the inspiration you can get. And you need, do you really want to be snowed in your house? I don't. Now, do you really want to be preparing for a hurricane? I've met some seniors. They moved away from a small beach house because they got tired of evacuating for hurricanes. It's true. I got to be fair. Even though I had Hurricane Sandy in New Jersey, destroyed some people's houses, I know. So you can't hide from Mother Nature. And he goes, yeah, 2 inches per hour. Well, Pennsylvania's going to get destroyed. Massachusetts destroyed. Southern New Jersey, maybe not. I think it's a little bit of a hype, like the media always does, get you glued to the TV. Remember Hurricane Dorian was supposed to wipe out Florida? So I think it's a hype. I've lived through nor'easters, through blizzards. And what I can tell you is they're real, okay? I remember in my house, it'd be up to a foot of snow sometimes or more. And it's a disaster. What I can tell you is that's why I sold my house, uprooted, and left. I hate the cold weather. I have to be able to walk. What do I do when I walk? Well, guys, I recharge my body. I take care of my mental health. I write down ideas for videos, for things, and I feel better. I don't want to live somewhere that I can't go outside and walk. Even now, when I look for a house, I prepare that does this house have an environment around it that in the middle of the night or before bed, because usually I don't get up in the middle of the night. I don't take naps. Seniors need to realize, well, I'm not going to say this for seniors, but I say this as a general rule. When you take a nap, you destroy your natural sleep cycle. And that's why at night you can't sleep. It's not because you're a psychopath. It's because you've disrupted the normal algorithm of the human body. And the human body is meant, on average, there's exceptions, but the human body is meant to wake up when the sun comes up and sleep when the sun goes down. Now, there's exceptions. I worked a night shift, but I do know the people I've met that take naps, they don't get a good amount of sleep, but that's my experience. But if you're a senior, you're retired, look, do what you want. It's your life. Good to see you, Hal. Love to you. Ryan, what's up, man? Yo, Sam. You're right. Got to get it while the getting's good. Make the money while you can. Always realize you'll never have enough, but you want to learn to live within a budget. Whether you're retired or not, that's what it means when it says a fixed income. A fixed income is a little bit of a scam because a lot of seniors told me that when I was doing work in their house and they had a Benz in their, Benz in their garage. They had a nicer car than me. They had more money in savings than me, and they kept telling me I'm in a fixed income. I said, I know. A fixed income strictly means you have to live on a budget. That's it. Because you're not going to make overtime or get a bonus. But most people, even in the workforce, are not going to, they're not working massive amounts of overtime or doing side work. Most people aren't. Now, people who have, multiple kids, multiple houses, they're probably doing side work, but I did side work. And this is why I'm telling you, I did side work for seniors. And this is what they would say. I'm on a fixed income. And all that means is I'm living on a budget that's fixed. There's no age for that. You don't have to be 66 to live on a fixed budget. You can be 46, live in your car, and live on a fixed budget. That's how you prepare for retirement. A level of self-control, a level of awareness, a level of financial knowledge, and mainly self-control. Look, your biggest expense in life is food. Food, capital F, food. And you get some joy out of it. Look, guys, I could cut my probably monthly expenses in half just by limiting some of the luxury food I have. But that's my enjoyment. And I know some people are watching, they're not saying it. Says, Sam, why do you keep saying bad stuff about storage units? Because that's my enjoyment. Well, look, guys, this is just my opinion. I understand. But at any time, I can cut my food budget because I buy food by the day. At no time can you cut the storage unit. It constantly goes up, unless you're going to get rid of the stuff. And what I've learned with a storage unit is it becomes this snowball that you never want to deal with. Very few people, once they get a storage unit, will get rid of it because it's very mentally hard. I remember being in my closet and I was preparing for starting my, journey on trying to retire early while not being retired. And I was downsizing. Downsizing is one of the major things you do in preparation to retire and be a senior because you want lower bills and you want less to take care of. You have less energy and you have less disposable income. The problem is I didn't realize myself how emotionally hard it is to throw out perfectly good stuff. And that's where the storage unit comes in, or the lack of downsizing, because look, humans are hoarders. They're not by nature minimalist. Especially because it's only within the past 100 years that humans have all the amenities. Your storage unit should be Walmart. Your storage unit should be, Publix. Your storage unit should be Costco. Keep your goods and your clothes in the stores because they got 24/7 access. You can buy it whenever you need it. See, like 100 years ago, you couldn't just go to Walmart in the middle of the night and pick up baby powder, pick up extra pair of panties. So you got a vacuum, you got a bunch of panties, you got some stuff in your storage unit, you don't even know what it is. But you can go to Walmart and you can get anything you want. That's the difference between 2020 and 1920. Humans don't realize that we are not in a world that we lived for thousands of years, where you would take a bow and an arrow, you go hunt an animal. Now, some people still do it for sport. But guys, even in the midst of the coronavirus, where everyone went hoarding toilet paper and food, no one ever went without. Okay, no one. Okay, you say I couldn't find toilet paper, guys. Did you ever have to wipe your ass with newspaper? None of you probably did. And even if you did, I did that before. You wouldn't hurt yourself. That wouldn't be nice, but did anyone starve? Even the poorest among us? No. So what we learn, or what we have available to us now, is, guys, we have so much more as people preparing for retirement. versus people in 1920. And there's no need to hoard. It's very easy to live a simple life. Now, the hardest part is housing, because they don't make small houses anymore. Let's go back, live comments. Bryce, what's up, brother? You're out of the hospital. When you're a senior, again, healthcare and health problems are a major issue you got to prepare for. And who's going to help you? Do you need assistant living? Like I often say, make the money while you can. Maximize your health while you can. Regardless of money, live your best life while you can, responsibly. Go to the gym, that's a luxury, not a curse. Go for a walk, that's a blessing, not a burden. Do the things while your body can do them. God forbid there may be a time where you physically cannot do the same things you once did. I know now at the age of 40, and I'm in better shape than most people, even though I got a wide ass, I understand that. I cannot do the same things I did at 25, even when I was more overweight. Age matters. It puts more wear and tear on your joints. And so is it mental health too. Like, I want you to look at life like being a boxer. You can be Mike Tyson. You could, but if you go to the 12th round, you get tired, mentally tired, physically tired. You can't do as much, and it's easier to get knocked out. Okay. And it's not, you're still the same fighter. You're still Mike Tyson. But after 12 rounds, after 62 years, or even 22 or 32 years, your body and your mind has taken a toll. You've lost people through death. You have made mistakes. You have felt embarrassed. You have failed financially, emotionally. And guys, it's part of life. And so how do you keep yourself going forward? You got to keep a routine. You got to keep a routine. What do they teach you in school, rehab, jail, and assisted living facilities for the seniors? They teach you that we're going to have you on a routine. In assisted living and senior care, they try to encourage the seniors to wake up, to do activities. When you're retired, you have to manage your time more than ever. Whether you're 42 or 62 or 82, management of time. Why? Keep you out of depression, keep your health a little bit longer, keep you focused. You say, I got nothing to do. I got nothing to do. When you're retired, hygiene is one of the hardest things. When I talk to my mom, who's, what's she now, in her 70s, it's a reminder without embarrassment. Because it's very hard, guys, for the seniors to wash themselves. Very hard for nomads. I went through a cycle with that. So there's plenty of do. Laundry, hygiene, a little bit of exercise, a little bit of cooking, preparing for that. When you cook home more, you're going to save more money on a fixed income, and you're going to be a little bit healthier, and it's going to give you something to do. So these are all things you can do. Bryce, man, greetings to you, bro. Love to you, Bryce. I love the weather, not going to lie. I'm going to tell you right now, it was 80 degrees Fahrenheit today in South Florida. Another cool front is coming in on Friday. It'll be back in the 70s. In the winter, there is no better place in America than Florida, specifically South Florida. It's the warmest place in America, and I love it. And for me, even if you wanted to be a little bit of a snowbird, I would say live here at least 8-10 months out of the year. If not 12 months, if you had to be stationary. Why? For me, I need to be able to go out for a walk. I need to be able to go to the ocean. That's all part of quality of life. When you're a senior, quality of life is another key term. It means not only can you survive on your fixed income, not only can you do your hygiene, not only can you manage your time, but can you also do these things within an environment's climate and culture, within an environment that inspires you. Because that's quality of life. Now, obviously, look, again, your health is quality of life. If you need a knee replacement, if you got joints, if you got physical problems, all part of quality of life. But again, a body in motion stays in motion. Okay. Idle time is the worst thing for a senior young person. Good job. Tony, what's up, brother? Saxophone emoji to you, man. Maryland may get hit with a little bit of snow, too. Sam, hey, how's it going? Had to fire my manager today. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. He was skimming, oh, damn bastard. Yeah, now I got to go to court. Damn, man. I'm sorry to hear that, Tony. You're a good man. You got a loving heart. Money and friends don't mix. To me, money and people don't mix. I lost a couple friends for that reason, and what? That's why I tell you, if you're going to have a business, try to do as much of it independent, even if you make a little bit less. And in my opinion, Tony, and anyone listening, I would not take someone to court, okay, for less than $10,000. And Judge Judy and all the shows that have courts on TV, they're all small claims court. What does that mean? It means the maximum you can get from the claim, from the settlement, even if Judge Judy rules in your favor, is $10,000. You say 10,000 is great. Yeah, 10,000 is after years of back and forth, wasting your life, wasting your time, with no guarantee you're going to get the verdict. And I think it's going to destroy your mental health, physical, and financial. Every time you got to go to court or prepare for court, it's less time you do self-care, less time you can do another gig. So everyone has to make their own decisions for money. And again, Tony, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. What I've learned in this, similar to Bronx Tale, where Sonny told the young kid, look, if someone stiffed you some money, sometimes it's just better to take it as a lesson learned and know, now you know they're not a friend. Don't go chasing them. Remember when he went to chase the guy? Don't go chasing him. Let it be. But I know it's not easy. Not easy to take a L. How? When I get back to work, I will have the mindset of having 3 kids and a mortgage. So when asked for overtime, I'm taking it. No days off. Well, I know you're going to do great, Hal. I believe in you. You got people skills. I believe you got talent that you don't even know you have yet. And that's why I hope that you use this opportunity if you want, because I don't know your life. I want to always give you that freedom. But to pivot out of the industry of services. Tourism, service industry, there's a low ceiling. You can use those skills, even if you got to take less now. You're young. Now's the time to get into a different industry. Medical, project management, IT, a trade. Because there's only so much you're going to make in the service industry. Now, if you got a passion for it and you want to do it and you got no kids, don't answer to me, answer to yourself. But outside of what industry you're in, that's very important. I worked that amount of overtime. I did side work. I burnt myself out and I didn't have kids and I didn't even get ahead per se because I was spending money fast as I was making it. So that goes back to how do you prepare for retirement? Look, even if you're making great money, but if you're not managing it as if you're on a fixed income, it'll all be for nothing. Now, do I say those years where I worked a lot of overtime, I did a lot of different things that they were waste? No, because they built experience. They taught me a lot. And I kind of like, when you're younger, you got to kind of like do everything to see what you like and what you don't like. And then as you get middle age, you focus on what you really like. You get rid of the unnecessary and you execute to early retirement. That's my plan. Bryce, I'm 30 years old. You're young, man. And I've been on a nomad. Let me say this again. He goes, I'm 30 years old, been on nomad for 3.5 months so far. Okay. What age you wish you started nomading? I don't wish I started nomading any earlier. I would not have wanted to been a nomad living in a car RV in my 20s or even my early 30s. Why? Because I never even got into the nomadic life as if I want to do it forever. In your 20s, I like to have people over my house. I like to party. I wouldn't want to go back to a parking lot or campground. In my 30s, I was establishing my career. I needed to be stable in a certain area. And so when I hit to my mid-30s, and also I had a dog during that time. I wouldn't have a dog and live in a car. I mean, some people do it, but you have to be retired almost, take care of that dog and live in a car. So I don't wish I did it any earlier. In my mid-30s, after my dog died and I was reevaluating life, so what do I want to do next? I said, well, I don't want to live in New Jersey anymore. Simply because I don't like the weather. The culture was okay in certain parts. It wasn't that. It was just the weather. And so that's why I didn't look at North Carolina. I didn't look at Georgia because I wanted tropical weather. I didn't want to uproot my life so I could move to South Carolina. I need to go to South Florida. Big difference. So I started to take vacations. to Florida in the winter. And I said, man, I really, once I kind of realized, like, look, I know I want out of Jersey. I still had to go to an office. I looked online for downsizing. And what I came across after looking at a few YouTube videos was the algorithm put me in some RV channels and then eventually some car living channels and van life and all that. That was when it was first coming out, 5 years ago, or like popular. And my boss at that time had actually said to me, Sam, because I was thinking about, should I buy a house in Florida before I sell my main house? Should I buy a house in Florida, then sell my main house? The first thing someone told me that changed my life, and this is what you should remember when you plan for retirement, when you want to buy a downsized house, is for most people, never carry 2 mortgages. Because I was thinking of buying a small house in Florida and until I sell my house in New Jersey. And an old lady told me, don't buy something until you sold what you want to sell, because it'll put too much pressure on yourself. So once I figured out I have to sell before I buy, I was looking at, well, what's the transition? And then my boss had told me one day, he knew what I was trying to do. I don't know if he knew I was going to do it. But he said, Sam, it sounds like, you're not ready to buy. You're in a transitional period. Have you ever thought about an RV? And I had never heard, I heard about RVs, but I'm from Central Jersey. Wasn't the city per se, even though I spent time in the city. It was kind of like the suburbs, okay? So I was never part of Boy Scouts. I never went camping. So when I heard RV, I said, well, that probably makes sense. And I went online, I was looking at RV videos. And as I researched the RV life, RV stands for recreational vehicle, many seniors plan to retire like that. What I learned is RV life is just as expensive, if not more, than the regular life. And I looked at every little RV, tiny RV, big RV. Then I looked at the campground fees. Then I looked at the maintenance. Then I said, oh shit, this is not really like a free life. This could be a burden. So I said, RV doesn't make sense for me, especially at this time. I needed maximum flexibility. So I kind of just let it be, because I was focusing mainly on downsizing, throwing my stuff out and selling. I really didn't know what I was going to do next. Remember, you're not going to know what you need to do next until you start doing what you need to do now. Okay. You don't get the next step until you do the current step. Martin Luther King said, faith is taking the first step without seeing the entire staircase. You got to take the first step. So I said, well, I know my first step is downsizing, and that's what I focused on. And as I was doing that, okay, and I built up the courage to put my house on the market, my next step was, as I got closer, I went back to YouTube, and then that's when I started to see like van and car life. And then I saw all the popular guys like Bob Wells and all this, and Guy Rusty in Texas. And I said to myself, I can do this. If they can do it, I can do it. Just like I said, when my pastor could write a book, I could do it. You see, like, you should see me, like, you could do it, I could do it. But I had no disillusions of it. I knew it was going to be a little bit rough, but I said, look, I'm 30-something years old, my late 30s. It's worth a shot, because if it really doesn't work out, I know I'm going to Florida anyway, and I'm not in a rush to buy. I got no pets. I got no kids. So I took it as a shot. I didn't take car living or nomad life like I'm going to do this forever. I looked at it as for what it is, a transitional lifestyle. Even for seniors who retire, when they do the RV life, for most of them, it's not, I want to live in this RV till the day I die. It's, they want to travel the country, or at least they did before the coronavirus, or they want to live cheaper. But then they realize that it's not easy to live cheaper in an RV unless you're going to live in somewhat not the best RV parks. And then after time in RV parks and campgrounds, you realize it's not home, it's an RV park, it's a campground. So my main reason is just I wanted the flexibility to get down to Florida. I don't think I'll be a nomad forever, but we'll see. I don't like the conforming life that much either. I'm kind of stuck in the middle of no man land. Big Plan Dan, what's up, brother? Sorry for being late in the comments. I'll get some all infinity. Great to see you, man. Tony, great to see you, Coconuts. Big Plan Dan says, the best things I did for retirement are, he's naming them here. 1, live and stay healthy. Amen. I like that so far. Number 2, Invest maximum in IRAs and 401ks. Well, I do the 6% match for my 401k. I had a Roth IRA. I took it out. Roth IRA has salary limits. But I took my money out of the index funds when it was at Dow was at 18,000. So I was wrong for that because now it's at 30. So, I'm trying to do investments a little bit riskier. So I may be wrong for that. But on average, Big Plan Dan, his advice is right so far, because I would have made more money if I would have just kept an index fund. But for me, I just wanted to try a different way. He goes, number 3, buy my home, get it paid off before you retire. All great advice. Thank you, Big Plan Dan. Look, if you can pay off your mortgage, I want to be clear. You could be debt-free, but not expense-free, because you still have to figure out your taxes are going to go up every year. You have certain utility bills, sewer, electric, maybe internet, whatever. And you're going to have some maintenance bills, okay? Siding breaks, outlet breaks, fixture breaks, kitchen sink, lawn care, whatever. So it's great that you pay off your mortgage. I mean, now with low interest rates, I don't know if I would say that, but who knows? I mean, this advice is basic wisdom. But you need to know, if you do like Dan, and I think Dan will pretty much lead you right. I mean, look, I have to agree with those 3 things. But you just got to remember that you need to know your monthly fixed expenses. Because with no mortgage, you still got to average. Like if you have a $2,000 or $5,000 a month, not a month. Let's say your property taxes are $4,000 a year. Let's say that. So you say, okay, I'll pay once a year. No, but you should average your property taxes, your annual property taxes, so that you know how much they're part of your fixed monthly budget. Like if you had property taxes of, what were we going to say, 4,000, and they could be more or less, it all depends, right? 4,000 divided by 12, because there's 12 months in a year, then, damn, why is that not doing it? This calculator blows. Hopefully this will tell me. If not, I got to find different online calculator. All right, so $4,000 a year divided by 12 months in a year, it's $333 just for your property taxes. So if you have no mortgage, your property taxes, which will always go up, if you're a senior if you live in Florida and you have a single family home, you can homestead your taxes, you get a lower rate. That's good. But either way, so you got $333 a month plus, let's say you got a $100 utility bill average for electric. Let's say $50, let's say $30 a month sewer, if you averaged out probably the quarterly thing. And let's just say water's $25 a month or whatever. So you're up to about $500 a month. If you had $4,000 a year in taxes and you had basic utilities or whatever, you're at least at $500 a month. That does not include maintenance or any other thing. So you're probably most people, even with their mortgage paid off on fixed expenses, they're probably somewhere between $500 to $1,000 a month. And that's eye-opening. Like you say, damn, I paid off my mortgage. It was $2,000 a month. Yeah, but you still got about $1,000 a month fixed cost. Now, again, maybe you got cheaper property taxes. Maybe you got something different. But I want you to think like a senior. I want you to prepare for retirement. Because even when you pay it all off, guys, they always got your hand in your pocket, man. It's just the way life is. And that was eye-opening to me when I started looking at it. I said, damn, they always got their hand in your pocket. Big Plan Dan, and the 4th. Not having kids. Well, damn right, you rich. Guys, if you don't have kids, you can retire at any age. It's true. No, that's true though. Infinity, what's up, Sam? Great to see you, brother. Infinity, man, how are you? Infinity knows he got a vasectomy. He took that advice. He's a millionaire. Tony Guerrero, shout out to Canada, man. You guys got universal health care. It's one thing you got on us. He goes, this is a good topic, though. It's true. Loneliness will be a big issue. It's true. That's why I got to manage your time. Well, a big issue for us introverts who like to be alone. Thank God for the internet. We will lack mobility, social contacts, etc. That's true. Now, don't forget, I know seniors who struggle to maintain healthy relationships with their children. I'll stop right there. Most seniors I know, they have children, they have a family, but it's not a healthy relationship. So most seniors are the same place that even us younger people are. They're on the internet, they're on YouTube to form a virtual friendship where they can get their social fulfillment while their husband is in the other room watching the news. And it's great until it's bad. Because this is what I've learned through online relationships. They're great, but they're relationships. So just like most relationships, after about 10 months, they're over. And so why? Because we get offended. Someone doesn't say something we like, and it's part of human nature. So, but thank God there's many YouTubers. Thank God online we're connected with the 7.5 billion people in the world, not just the 7 people that live in your house. That's true. Coconut Dreams, custom member only, dropped a mic emoji. Thank you, brother. Great to have you here tonight. Great to have all my members. Thank you again, guys, for watching. Coconut says, you say a lot of very logical, important points. Thank you, brother. I try to add some value and I try to keep myself focused about life that I don't think most people pick up. Now, they want to see a cat fall off a rocking chair. But I am grateful, guys. I don't take for granted that you guys watch, that I have members, because I realize YouTube can go away tomorrow, even if I bring great value. So I'm not going to try to masturbate, and I'm not even going to plan to have YouTube in my life 20 years from now, because I don't know if it'll be around. I hope it will, but I'm not going to plan on it. So when you plan for retirement, your side hustles, like, will YouTube turn into MySpace? It may. May they stop monetizing small? They may. So, look, they may not. I don't know. But I found that life is better when I don't want to say you always plan for the worst, because sometimes I struggle with that. I think it'll be too pessimistic. But you definitely don't want to be entitled. You definitely don't want to latch on to things, because everything changes. And you also just want to be grateful for the moment. Store away some nuts like squirrels for the winter months, even though I live in Florida, no winter here. I fed the squirrels and the pelicans today. Very nice. And what I can tell you is this, you basically get the message. He goes, they don't pick up on most things in the videos. Thank you, brother. Like you don't know your next step till you start your first step. Amen, says the Yacht Club. You say inspirational nomad, I'm totally lost. Well, the first step is self-care. Go for a walk. I guarantee anyone right now, I challenge them, even if you're in Vermont, okay, where it's 50 feet of snow. This is what I walked in blizzards, guys. I don't want to hear it. Now, unless you're a senior or you got an underlying condition, I want you to go outside in the freezing cold. I want you to bundle up, and I want you to go for a walk for 15 minutes. And I want you to leave a comment, whether in the live chat or in this replay. And I want you to tell me that after that 15-minute walk, you didn't get an idea on what to do next with your life. So start there, okay? Then what you're going to realize, even if you got no great revelation, maybe you just need to clean your house and downsize. Maybe you need to get rid of some stuff. Maybe you need to get rid of your storage unit. Now you're starting to figure out that within a fixed budget, you can cut some shit out that you're not using. You just made your income go up. You just super chatted yourself. You say inspirational nomad, I'm a psychopath. I wish I could be a YouTuber like you. Well, I'll tell you, look, we all got different gifts. I wished I could be a basketball player. I wasn't 7 foot. I didn't have great, I was decent, but I wasn't good enough to go there. But guess what, guys? Did I bitch and moan about it? Did I go on Michael Jordan's live chat and troll him? No, I moved on with my life. I figured out what I do good. And through failure and through consistency, I try to keep doing it. So what I would tell you is this. If you can't be a YouTuber, you can still get super chatted by increasing your income through cutting out unnecessary expenses. Storage unit. Too much space. You got too big a house. Whatever. But it's an eye-opening thing when you look at life like that, rather than just like this, idle time, like you're trying to figure out one magical solution. There's no magical solution. There's self-care, which is the foundation of your life. And then there's revelation knowledge. There's learning knowledge. There's failure and a pit in your stomach and totally feeling hurt like you're the 12th round of a Mike Tyson fight. But then there's picking up and getting up because you realize that even though you went 12 rounds with Tyson, you got $10 million and you're okay. And that's the reward for everyone who is scared to go to work in the morning, but they show up. Tomorrow's direct deposit day. Okay. And your direct deposits count as your Social Security credits. They count into your 401k deposits. Oh, amen, says the Yacht Club. Okay. Let's continue to read. Tony Guerrero. AI sex robots to the rescue. Well, I'll tell you right now, would I have sex with a robot? Well, yeah, I have sex with a sock every day. I masturbate in a sock, so I wouldn't mind a robot, but I don't want to take care of a robot. For my phone, I got to have a screen protector. So if I have sex with a robot, I got to have a pussy protector. I got to clean the pussy. I got to lubricate the pussy. Too much work. I just masturbate in my N1 Walmart socks. I throw it in the laundry. I'm done. So for me, I'm all about simple. Now, if I become independently wealthy and Donald Trump super chats me $10 million, or Joe Biden, now that he's in, because Joe Biden's got the Federal Reserve. Guys, the Federal Reserve said today there's no end in sight for low interest rates, buying bonds. The head of the Federal Reserve, Jay Powell, he said he don't even see inflation on the horizon. I'm saying this motherfucker crazy. He don't see inflation. Now, they lying to you, man. You're going to see. It's going to get crazy. Tony, they say all the right things. Well, I know Jay Powell was trying to say the right things to keep the market going on. Coconut, you asked me the other night, is the stock market going to go to 40K? I'll tell you right now, if Jay Powell keep talking how we talk, it's going to go to 140K because inflation cometh, okay? And when you're a senior, you got to understand that inflation is your enemy. Because now Social Security does have a mechanism where it's adjusted for inflation. But, at the rate of housing, of property taxes, food, it's very tough, okay? So, bottom line, guys, is I tried to add some value, spark some thought, motivate some action, and share some things. Tony, creepy Joe Biden can super chat you some of that corruption money from his illegal business in Ukraine. Hey, guys, you know me, I think they're all corrupt. I think Biden's corrupt. I think Trump is corrupt. However, I think Trump went too far. I think, and maybe sometimes I go too far on my live feed, so I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I couldn't support Trump. He went too far. And I didn't really like him getting in. I was willing to give him a shot, but he's not healthy for America. He's not healthy for society. Now, do I think Joe Biden's corrupt? Yeah, look, guys, I think they're all corrupt. But it was the best choice. It's like being a fat person at McDonald's drive-thru. You want to get your health together. What do? Order the salad. You say inspirational nomad. The salad's not that healthy. Guys, I know. I know Joe Biden is I know Nancy Pelosi. I know they're all nuts. But I always tell you guys, whether it's Donald Trump, Jay Powell, Joe Biden, I pay attention. I say directly what I feel so I don't lead you guys astray. But at the same time, I don't stop living my life. I sold my house when Trump was in. I moved to Florida when Trump was in. I keep living my life when Biden's in. So obviously, look, Trump affected me the way the coronavirus handled. And my opinion, I think he's part of the coronavirus. Not because he caused it, but I think the way he handled the politics of China negatively affected how it was handled. Because, guys, if you keep, you guys know how I talk rough sometimes, and that's why I got some trolls. So I understand that even I could have that mindset, but I know that I'm not the president. I'm an entertainer. If I was the president, I would have to tame myself a little bit more, just like I have to tame myself at my job. Why? Because I have a different job requirement. As a YouTuber, my only job requirement is to tag my videos. Are they for adults or are they for kids? And I put always adults. My only job requirement is to say, look, if you curse or if you talk about certain things, you may get demonetized. But when you're the president for all people, all states, and you have to be political with different countries. So when you shame China, you say, no, you're going to give us a great deal. The best negotiator never embarrasses the person they're negotiating with. Because as soon as you embarrass them, you put them in a no-win situation. Because even if China wanted to give us a better trade deal, are they going to do it? Because then every country would bully them. No. Now, are they going to start a war? Because then we would get our allies. No. So what are they going to do? They're going to totally change world economics. 300,000 Americans are dead, almost as much as in World War II, and not one bullet fired. They outsmarted us. Trump was playing checkers. Even while Joe Biden was taking a nap, China checkmated Donald Trump like a motherfucker. Okay. Checkmate that motherfucker off the board. Okay. So what I could tell you is this, guys, that's real life. Okay. So Those are my thoughts on that. Good comment, though. All right, guys and girls. What I want to tell you is this. The good news is there is no age requirement to retire. If you're 22 or if you're 62, you can retire. But you have to figure out how to live on a fixed income. If you're not in Canada, like Tony Guerrero, he's in Canada. He's got universal health care. He can retire at 25 and he don't have to worry about health care. If you're in America, number one cause of bankruptcy is medical bills. You have to figure out as an American, if you're not 66, how are you going to get health insurance? Because if you retire at 55, but you slip and fall and you break your leg in 3 places and you need $300,000 worth of health care, you could go bankrupt right before you're a senior. And that would destroy all the money you saved in your investments. So that's something you got to really be careful. Okay, you got to be conscious of. Okay. So you also have to manage your time. Because again, like a viewer mentioned, you can't do nothing. Even if you're just going to clean your house, hygiene, time to wash yourself, you got to stay active. You don't have to kill yourself, but you don't want to sleep yourself to death and to bad mental health. You want quality of life. You want to be in a climate, and I do believe you want to be in warm weather, at least for me. Some people don't. You want to prepare for that. Okay. And that's what I got tonight. I appreciate everyone watching. Tony Guerrero, I appreciate you, brother. I do. Coconuts, I love you, man. Infinity, vasectomy for the win. Big plan, Dan executed a big plan. You executed it, man. Bryce, stay out of the hospital, brother. Your health is your wealth. How? You will be successful. But remember, it all starts small. It gains traction through consistency. And when in doubt, keep it simple, because you can make a lot of money and not have a lot of money to show for it, because like me, at a certain point, you're going to spend it as fast as it comes in. So keep all those things in mind. Tony, best of luck to you, brother. Again, in my mind, if it was under $10,000, I would not sue. Why? You're going to waste 2-3 years of your life. And remember, guys, you can sue a broke person. They ain't going to give you shit. Like, I look at some of the people that get sued on Judge Judy. I said to myself, you think they ever going to pay you that? They ain't never going to pay you that shit. They ain't got 2 pots to piss them. Go, guys. Biden is going to take the vaccine live air next week. I don't know, guys. Look, again, I got vaccines when I was young. I went to public schools. I don't know what it was for, measles or polio or whatever. So I'm not anti-vaccine. Now, will I get in line for the vaccine? No. If I was a healthcare worker, I probably would have to. Okay, so it is what it is, guys. Look, you just say, well, I don't want to take the vaccine. Well, again, I think you should have the freedom. We're only going to get past the coronavirus in 2 ways. It ain't going to be just the vaccine. Part of it's the vaccine for like frontline workers and people in assisted senior living. The other part is herd immunity. 80% of the country gets it, and that's why every time you see a case, in one sense, it's a good thing because people have to get it and have natural immunity. And through herd immunity and the vaccine, that's how the virus magically goes away. April, remember that? ESP, did you hear that a healthcare worker here in Alaska had an allergic reaction? No, I didn't, but I'm sure there's going to be side effects because I heard one person I don't know. I don't know enough facts. All I know is I saw one person take the vaccine. Who was that? A nurse in Queens who was like the director of, whatever, care or whatever there. So again, did I ever take a vaccine when I was a kid? Yeah. Did I ever give my dog vaccines? And I love my dog more than any psychopath online. Yeah. So it's part of the game. Do I think the government is trying to force us to take vaccines? Well, guys, the government's got nuclear weapons. So first, it's like some conspiracy theory is, well, the government created the coronavirus. Well, if they created it, then why'd they create the vaccine? Just kill us. So I believe that there's probably a lot with the coronavirus we don't know. A lot of conspiracy. I believe same thing with the vaccine. But at the end of the day, what I know is fact is the average human life expectancy is 80. So none of us are living, some of us will live to 90s, maybe some 100, but none of us are living to 200. So whether the government wants to kill us with the coronavirus, with the vaccine, again, I traveled during a pandemic, okay? I traveled up north on the East Coast and I traveled down south. I didn't stop living my life. I'm an advocate for you to have the option to travel as long as you do the protocols, wear your mask, social distance. And I'm an advocate that you have the choice to take the vaccine or not. Everyone's got to figure that out for themselves. ESP. One of my friends called me because they thought it was me. Oh, you just blew your spot. Now we know you're a healthcare worker. Since I have food allergies. Oh, well, that's you fucking with now that's because ghetto van life got you fucking with that Dairy Queen. I hate to bring it up. I try not to bring it up. But every time I think of the Dairy Queen video. Nah, you don't have food allergies. You got DDQ allergies, okay? It's all that, what do they call it? The dairy. The dairy product's very not good. Even though I did have some Twizzlers, so I had a lot of sugar in it. So I'm not even a healthcare worker. Okay, you didn't blow your spot then. I love you, ESP. Yeah, but I think that ghetto van life, wasn't he like morbidly obese? He's some fat guy in Canada. Thank God he got universal health care. Tony Guerrero, there's a fat guy living in Canada in his van, and he's telling all the people out there to eat Dairy Queen. Very, very destructive. Very destructive. But what I could tell you is this, guys. I got to take a pee, okay? And when you're a senior, you're going to have to go to the bathroom pretty often. Now, do I want to live in a car when I'm a senior? Probably. No, I don't. So if you ask me that, I'll tell you that right now. I mean, again, we'll see what happens. But do I want to be living in my car when I'm in my 60s, 70s, and 80s? No, either I want to have a home base or RV. I'm sacrificing now because I'm young enough, I got the wherewithal. And even when I got into this lifestyle, to Bryce's question, it wasn't because I'm not going to say I'm not going to be a nomad my whole life, but I'm not going to be living in a car my whole life. God willing, and we don't know the future. I love you, ESP. Keep that sense of humor. Laughter is good for the soul. You know I love you. You know I think highly of you. And I watched the rest of that video. It was actually a good video. I just didn't like the Dairy Queen part. But again, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I had some Twizzlers before I went live. Well, what I want to share with you guys is this, okay? Yeah, I think I knocked it out. I hope my videos help you. Thank you for watching. Love to everyone out there. Ryan, great to see you too tonight, brother. And that's it. We knocked out another one. I showed up today. Okay. When in doubt, show up. When in doubt, keep it simple. When in doubt, self-care. Even if you totally hate everything I say, if you overall, there's some exceptions, if you overall show up, if you overall focus on self-care, if you overall keep it simple, doesn't mean you have to live in a car, I think you overall will live your best life. No such thing as a perfect life, but I think if you follow those general things, you're your best life. Kathy! Sam, how was your day? It was good. I feel productive. I feel like I gave it my all. I feel like I made the most of it. I'm thankful I'm in Florida. How was your day, Kathy? I hope you had a good day. I appreciate you, Kathy. Keep pushing forward on your journey, one step at a time. If you're lost and discouraged, what do? Show up, self-care, and keep it simple. Whether you're doing great or whether you're doing horribly, the only thing I figured out is show up, self-care, and keep it simple. Why? Because I think you mess up your life when you try to overanalyze it. Keep it very simple, guys. In my opinion, that's how you do it. But thanks everyone again for watching. Peace to you. Do the best you can. And if you had a bad day and you feel like an asshole, guess what, guys? Keep showing up. Why? Because you can overcome a bad day. Okay. And even if you decide to crawl under a rock, your bad day becomes a bad life. If you decide to keep showing up, then people forget about the bad shit and you overcome. Or even if they don't forget about it, either way, you got no choice, really. You know, it's like, do you want to suffer the rest of your life or try to make your life a little bit better? Show up. Fuck it if you're embarrassed. Fuck it if you failed. All you can do is try to improve, try to push forward, and it is what it is. That's life. All right, guys. Peace.